Patience is one of the greatest virtues in Islam. Yet today, it is tested like never before. Modern society, fueled by Western ideologies and materialism, has reshaped the way relationships function. Many Muslim men find themselves struggling to maintain their faith and composure, facing challenges that previous generations never experienced. Whether it's unrealistic expectations, the rejection of traditional values, or the influence of social media, Muslim men today are being tested at every turn. But as a believer, you're called to stay strong. Here's how modern women are testing the patience of Muslim men, and what you must do to remain steadfast. 1. Unrealistic expectations and materialism. One of the biggest tests for Muslim men today is dealing with women who prioritize material wealth over Islamic character. Society has conditioned many women to measure a man's worth by his financial status rather than his faith and good manners. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us about this when he said, "A woman is married for 4 things: her wealth, her lineage, her beauty, and her religion. Choose the one who is religious. May your hands be rubbed with dust." Bukhari and Muslim. This hadith highlights an important reality. While wealth, beauty, and lineage may be desirable, it is religion that truly matters. Yet, in today's world, this wisdom is often ignored. Many women, influenced by consumer culture and social media, seek men who can provide a high-end lifestyle rather than a halal and stable one. This creates immense pressure on Muslim men, pushing them to constantly compete in a world driven by materialism. Instead of being valued for their character, deen, and good intentions, they are judged by the kind of car they drive, the brand of their clothes, and the size of their bank account. This unrealistic expectation is a direct challenge to a man's patience, making him question his worth and struggle to meet a standard that Islam never imposed. But a true believer must resist this pressure. Allah reminds us in the Quran, "Wealth and children are but adornment of the worldly life, but the enduring good deeds are better to your Lord for reward and better for one's hope." Quran 18:46. A woman who values dunya over deen is not a woman worth chasing. If a man marries based on material gain alone, he risks living a life full of discontent and spiritual loss. Wealth comes and goes, but a woman who fears Allah and supports her husband in faith is a priceless blessing. For those men facing this challenge, remember, your provision is from Allah, not from the approval of society. Do not exhaust yourself trying to impress those who only see the surface. Instead, seek a woman whose heart is attached to Allah, because she will see your heart rather than your wallet. Focus on your deen, your character, and your purpose. A righteous woman will see your worth beyond material possessions. Stay patient and trust that Allah will provide what is best for you in this life and the next. 2. The rejection of traditional gender roles. Islam provides clear guidance on the roles of men and women, assigning each their own responsibilities to create balance and harmony in society. Yet, modern ideologies have redefined these roles, portraying traditional values as oppressive and pushing for a system that often leads to conflict and confusion. Many women today are taught that submission to a husband is a form of weakness rather than an act of love, respect, and faith. They believe that being a devoted wife and mother limits their potential, even though Islam elevates these roles and grants them great honor. The modern world encourages total independence, where a woman is taught to rely only on herself, while still expecting a man to fulfill his traditional responsibilities as a provider and protector. This imbalance creates frustration among Muslim men. A husband is still expected to work hard, provide, and protect his family, yet his role is often dismissed or undervalued. Meanwhile, some women seek the freedom to live as they please while disregarding the structure that Islam has placed for a successful family life. But Allah has already defined the natural order. Men are the protectors and maintainers of women, because Allah has made one of them excel over the other, and because they spend to support them from their means. Quran 4:34. This verse does not imply that men are superior or that women are oppressed. Rather, it shows that men and women have complementary roles, each contributing in their own way. A man is designed to lead, to shoulder responsibility, and to care for his family, while a woman brings peace, support, and strength from within the home. When these roles are reversed or rejected, problems arise. Marriages become power struggles instead of partnerships. Women demand leadership but refuse to follow, while men are expected to provide but receive no appreciation. The result? Broken families, resentment, and spiritual decline. A Muslim man must remain patient when faced with this mindset. Society may try to dictate new rules, but Islamic values remain timeless. Instead of arguing or becoming frustrated, lead by example. Show what it means to be a strong, righteous husband who follows the path of the Prophet, peace be upon him. A woman who truly follows Islam will understand that honoring her husband's leadership is not oppression. It is a path to peace, love, and ultimately, the pleasure of Allah. Stay firm in your faith, seek a righteous spouse, and remember, true strength lies in following the guidance that Allah has already set. 3. The influence of social media and hypergamy. Social media has completely reshaped the way relationships function. In the past, marriages were built on character, compatibility, and faith. Today, they are increasingly driven by status, image, and unrealistic expectations. Many modern women spend hours scrolling through curated, highly filtered images of influencers and celebrities living luxurious lifestyles. They see designer clothes, expensive vacations, and seemingly perfect relationships, then begin to measure their own lives against these illusions. This creates a mentality of constant dissatisfaction, when no man ever feels good enough unless he can provide a lifestyle that mirrors what is seen online. But the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us against this type of comparison. Look at those who are lower than you in wealth, and do not look at those above you, lest you belittle the favors Allah has given you. Muslim. Social media fuels hypergamy, a mindset where women are constantly seeking the best possible option, rather than focusing on faith and compatibility. Many are encouraged to always look for a better man, a richer, more attractive, higher status alternative. This mentality leads to a culture of instant gratification, where relationships are easily discarded the moment a woman feels she can upgrade. For Muslim men, this presents a major test of patience. Many feel they are in a losing battle, competing in a superficial world that does not value Islamic principles. Instead of being appreciated for their character and righteousness, they are judged by what they can provide materially. This leads to feelings of frustration, self-doubt, and even despair. But a true believer does not seek validation from a society lost in dunya. He understands that a woman obsessed with status and materialism is not a suitable partner for a man who seeks Jannah. Allah reminds us, "And do not extend your eyes toward that by which we have given enjoyment to some categories of them, for the splendor of worldly life by which we test them, and the provision of your Lord is better and more enduring." Quran 21:31. A Muslim man must remain patient and resilient. He should not chase after women who are caught up in the illusions of this world. Instead, he should focus on finding a righteous wife, one who values faith over fortune and character over clout. The world will always glorify wealth, beauty, and status. But these things are temporary. What lasts is the connection to Allah and the woman who stands by you, not because of what you have, but because of who you are in the sight of your Lord. The rise of immodesty and lack of haya Islam places great emphasis on haya, modesty and shyness, a quality that protects a believer's heart, strengthens his faith, and preserves the purity of society. But today, modesty is being replaced with self-expression, attention-seeking, and an obsession with physical appearance. Many women, influenced by Western ideals and social media trends, are abandoning the Islamic principles of modesty. Instead of dressing with dignity, they are encouraged to expose themselves, to seek validation through likes and compliments, and to chase beauty standards that are constantly changing. This creates a serious challenge for Muslim men. Allah commands in the Quran, "Tell the believing men to lower their gaze and guard their chastity. That is purer for them." Quran 24:30. Yet, in today's world, lowering the gaze has become increasingly difficult. Immodesty is everywhere, on the streets, on screens, even within Muslim communities. Women who once took pride in their haya are now told that modesty is oppressive, and their confidence comes from revealing rather than concealing. But the true strength of a woman lies in her modesty. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Every religion has a characteristic, and the characteristic of Islam is modesty." Ibn Majah. When women dress and behave immodestly, it becomes a direct test for men who are striving to stay righteous. The challenge is not just about lowering the gaze. It's about maintaining purity of heart and mind in a world that constantly invites temptation. But here's the reality. A man cannot control how women dress, but he can control how he responds. A true believer does not allow society to dictate his morality. He remains firm in his faith, seeking Allah's guidance and striving to control his desires. Just as a woman is rewarded for protecting her modesty, a man is rewarded for protecting his gaze. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, promised, "Whoever can guarantee for me control of what is between his jaws, his tongue, and what is between his legs, his chastity, I will guarantee for him paradise." Bukhari. Instead of blaming society, a Muslim man must take responsibility for his own self-control. Temptation will always exist, but Jannah is for those who resist. Stay focused on your deen. Surround yourself with righteous company. Seek a wife who values haya over hype, faith over fashion, and modesty over modern trends. Remember, the dunya glorifies immodesty, but Allah honors those who uphold haya. Your patience is a test, and your reward is waiting. 5. How to remain patient and stay strong. With all these challenges, unrealistic expectations, rejection of traditional values, social media influence, and the rise of immodesty. It's easy for a Muslim man to feel overwhelmed. The world today constantly tests your patience, making it difficult to stay on the straight path. But as a believer, you're called to rise above these trials. Your patience is a test, and your response will determine your reward. So how can you remain strong in a world that constantly pulls you away from your faith? Strengthen your iman. The key to patience is a strong connection with Allah. If your heart is filled with faith, the distractions of this world will have no power over you. Increase your prayers, fasting, and Quran recitation. Remember that your ultimate goal is Jannah, not the approval of society. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever remains patient, Allah will make him patient. Nobody can be given a blessing better and greater than patience." Bukhari. Patience is a gift from Allah, but you have to seek it through worship and dua. Focus on self-improvement. Instead of worrying about how women have changed, focus on becoming the best version of yourself. Work on your character, discipline, and skills. Strive to be a man of integrity, wisdom, and strength. The more you improve yourself, the less you will be affected by society's distractions. A righteous woman will recognize a man of faith and good manners. She will see your values, not your valuables. Choose wisely. Not every woman is lost in dunya. There are still righteous women who value Islam over status. Instead of chasing beauty and luxury, seek a wife who will strengthen your faith and support your journey toward Jannah. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "The world is but a provision, and the best provision of the world is a righteous wife." Muslim, a woman who follows Islamic principles will be your partner in this life and the next. Choose a wife who fears Allah, not society. Lower your gaze and guard your heart. Temptation is everywhere, but your strength lies in resisting it. Protect your eyes, thoughts, and actions. Don't let social media, immodesty, or materialism corrupt your soul. A Muslim man is not defined by his desires, but by his discipline. Make dua and trust Allah no matter how difficult things get. Never lose hope. Turn to Allah and ask Him for patience and guidance. Because in the end, true strength comes from Him alone. Modern times come with modern challenges, but Islam has already given us the answers. Your patience is a test, and your strength will be rewarded. The question is, will you remain firm in your faith, or will you allow the distractions of this world to lead you astray?